Friday Inspiration Boost. I am absolutely adoring this book and raving about it to everyone. Switch on Your Brain, The Key to Peak Happiness, Thinking, and Health by Dr. Caroline Leaf. I know several of you have heard me talk about her because I mentioned about 37 minutes in on her interview with Tom Bilyeu on impact theory that you can find on YouTube. Ask me if you want the link, I've got it handy. She talks about exactly what happens in our brain when we write by hand. I love it. I love how she talks about positivity is a choice. And now she's got a 5-step program to be able to switch our brain, if it's in toxic or negative mode, into positive. Now, you wouldn't think that I need that, seeing as I often talk about how I'm predisposed to cheerfulness, and I am, because my mother raised me that way. Here's one part that I want to share with you. This is from Proverbs 23:7. As he thinks in his heart, so is he. And then she says, we are not driven by forces beyond our conscious control. We are accountable for every thought and decision we make. We are highly intelligent beings with free will, and we are responsible for our choices. I love writing like this. Now, ask me 30 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, I would have been a little upset because I was still thinking like a victim. And yeah, I mean, yes, there was some victimization type stuff in childhood. I was, the victim of bullies, and then there was, some abuse in the home, and then a lot of dysfunction. But when we wake up to that, we are responsible for all our choices. And to stay in a bad situation is a choice, too. And let me go a little bit further into that. There was a book I read called Solitaire. I don't remember much else about it, but one story sticks in my mind. Because this woman that was born in the same year as my mother, who had also 6 children, when she discovered that some things were happening that were not safe for her daughters, she left. She was the same age, same generation as my mother, and she left. And she made a new life for herself and her daughters. I thought, my mother could have done that too, but she didn't. And then we had the lives that we did have. So what decisions, this is where I'm gonna just go off the deep end as to what you can do with the writing challenge for this. So for the memoirists, what decisions would you wish your parents had made differently? What decisions are you incredibly grateful that they made? And for the fiction writers, what decisions do your characters make that impact 4 generations down? If you're writing a long, what do they call that? Sequels or whatever. Because she talks about in here too, is that everything goes on for 4 generations, and epigenetics and neuroplasticity, all of that is proving that we have things that will follow us from the womb and will follow down the generations and be transmitted. This is why I have great empathy for our First Nations people, because we did not do nice things for them at all. And they are still carrying and bearing those wounds of those years where my culture, being, white-skinned or pink-skinned, however you want to call it, were not ethical, kind, and sharing this planet that we're on. So there's another little rabbit hole direction you can go. What is truth and reconciliation to you? And what is the part that you can play in truth and reconciliation? Even the smallest parts can make big changes. The smallest decisions can be big. Now, I've gone on too long. So that's it. Take something from there and go right. Bye for now.